Good morning. It's turned out nice again. Hey. Yeah. You can't really not up to swear in the first 15 seconds of the video, otherwise it gets restricted. Looking at this, it's like got some fancy filming mode on this phone. How cool is that? Be better if it blurred my face out, wouldn't it, guys? Right, so yesterday was the inevitable, right? None of us expected us to get anything from that game, I'm sure. Yeah, I watched it because I was like, oh, come on, you never know in football, it's a funny old game, right? So we crashed out of the Champions League, and I'm sorry, you're going to go mental with me, right? Because yesterday, I was banging on about how I don't want to talk about the owners, I'm not having it on the stream on Saturday night. I wrote an editorial yesterday, www.KopTalk.com, right? Should be on the front page, if not, click on opinion, I think, at the top. And go and read what I had to say, because sometimes, like, writing the actual text can be different to speaking, because you get more time to think about it. That editorial probably took me 4 hours to write, believe it or not, on and off, breaking for a cuppa. But anyway, it's not so much talking about the owners that I have a problem with. It's the arguments between the supporters in the fan base, the divide that I don't like. It drives me mental. And I just want to watch football. All right. However, I need to talk about the owners to you today, and that's because with Liverpool crashing out of the Champions League, it's made me think ahead now to the summer. In terms of revenue. And the limitations of that in the transfer market. Already I've seen supporters on the comments of my videos saying they won't do anything now, or maybe on Twitter, I'm not sure. They won't do anything now. They'll use not being in the Champions League as an excuse. Blah blah blah. Who knows? And it just got me thinking, like, what is their game? Like, what is their game? What's their agenda? What is it? What's it all about? If me or you, right, if you're a Liverpool fan, owned Liverpool Football Club, and we were already extremely wealthy, right, so had no need to cash in, because when you've got money, right, you can only spend so much money. That's why I don't understand why footballers, have to be on zillions of pounds a year, because you only spend so much money. They might have a short career, but let me sit on the bench at Anfield for a week, and that's me set up for life, you know what I'm saying? I'm a bit older than some of you guys, maybe, but you know what I'm saying? I think all of us, if we work, I reckon even the youngest of my viewers, if you work a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks on that bench and you do things right in life, you wouldn't need to work, all right? So they can only spend so much money, as can billionaires, all right? And I can't work them out. I can't work out what it is. So if we own the club, we're billionaires, we're extremely wealthy, we don't need to sell. Let's say the club's worth £3 billion. Realistically, they want more, right? But let's say no, it's worth £3 billion, right? And I'm wealthy. I'm already stinking rich, so I don't need that £3 billion. Imagine being like that, right? And someone comes in and says, "I'll buy that club off you for £10 billion." Dunk, I'd say, not a chance. What would you say? You'd say the same as me. I know you would. What's the point? I'm already stinking rich. £3 billion. It's not going to make any difference to me. 10 billion, what does it matter? I can assure you, if I've got like hundreds of millions, never mind billions, I'm all right, yeah? So why would I do that? That club would then be passed to my children, who also wouldn't need to sell it, because they would be stinking rich from my inheritance. So us as supporters, we don't look at it from a financial point of view, right? Now, don't get me wrong, right? If somehow that club was gifted me tonight, I'd sell it, a fraction of it at least, right? Just so I could be set up and look after my kids, right? You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between extremely wealthy and a peasant, all right? Now, what is their game, right? Because they don't look at that club or see that club like we see that club, all right? So they're already really, really wealthy. John's not a young lad, all right? So what I mean by that is, it's not like he's got to plan for decades and decades and decades and decades, and that's not being disrespectful, I'm just being honest. I said it about myself a minute ago, that I'm older than maybe some of my younger viewers, obviously. So I don't think I'll, anyway, I'm not digging at John Henry. I'm just saying he's not a young lad, so he should be enjoying his life. And it'd be like if I owned their baseball team or rounders team, whatever you want to call it. If I owned that, then I wouldn't have the attachment I have with Liverpool Football Club. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, I'm not watching that rubbish. Just make as much money as you can, all right? But there comes a point where, why do you need endless amount of money? Is it? I know the FSG out, like, people that define themselves as FSG out will say, yes, Dunk, it's just about greed. I don't understand that in life. Like, I want to be wealthy. I want to be well off. I want to be comfortable. I want to make sure the people I love that I can look after when I'm here and when I'm not here. Right? Like any parent. You guys, if I dropped, a big lottery, I'd love to look after the people that have looked after me. I would do that, no doubt about it. So maybe we all look at money in a different way. Can you hear that? That sounds like one of them jet washers or something like that. It's probably Remy. He's outside. He's probably chewing. He's probably chewing the setting the jet washer. There's water going everywhere or something. Like, he's mental, that dog. So what is their game? What is their game? They can sell that club now and make an absolute fortune. What's the point? What is the point of holding on to it anymore and the nonsense that comes with it? I'm sure there's sometimes it's quite stressful, but, then again, over the years when my haters have been on my back, my answer used to be, well, I don't like it, but I ain't giving up the life that I've got to escape it, if that makes sense. So, I come from an ordinary background. I come from a council estate. We lived on multiple council estates when I was a young boy. And my mum was a single parent initially, till she met who I call my dad, who was my stepdad, but he brought me up from about 6 years of age. So I called him Dad. I knew he wasn't my blood dad, but we're getting into technicalities. It would just sound funny if I said, and then my mum met my dad and I was 6. But, she worked 3-4 jobs. My grandparents, her mum and dad had nothing, nothing. They had absolutely nothing. So, come from a very humble, normal background. Oh, I don't know. And the website was very good to me. In the late 90s, I made a lot of money, from the big companies that were throwing money around. It's not like that now, but it was back then. And it got me to Spain, which when I was growing up would be a dream. I don't know if people would look at that now and go, yeah, I'd love it. I don't know, I'm not flash. I've done everything I've ever wanted to do. So when the haters were, hating on me, because they were really, really, really bad guys. Like, I don't mean like a little like nasty comments. I mean like websites dedicated to me. The police got involved one time when they targeted my children at school, my family, and like the absolute vicious stuff that even people that don't like you would say that's too much, you know what I mean? But I used to think to myself, yeah, I'd love to get away from it, but I'm all right. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate where I am in life, so it comes with the territory, and that's what you've got to accept. But if you're John Henry, he could turn around and say, you know what, I've had enough of this, these mental soccer fans. Let's get away with it, Linda. Come on, let's sell it, let's get out, right? Now, there was rumours that she was trying to encourage him to get rid of Liverpool Football Club because he weren't getting any younger, let's word it like that. I'm sorry about that buzz, but it's obviously some kind of jet wash or something. So what's the point? You hold on to it. That valuation, once they might never get it, is it? I mean, all right. So Dunk, for the longer they own the club, the more revenue they will bring in. Well, people always say they don't take any money out. But it's the same argument, even if they are taking money out, which, you know, they can do what they want, they own the club. If you're already wealthy, then why do you need more? Why do you need more? I mean, am I naive with this, guys? Please tell me if I am being naive. I mean, it's the people like that just want more and more and more. I'm sure there is, for, you know, like lower down, but really when you are a billionaire, is their mentality really like, I've got 5 billion, but now I want 15 billion? Is that what they're like? I mean, if you were doing good things with it, you know, like, I'm not talking about, you know, let's say, you know, they invest in other businesses and, you know, different pies and things like that. Oh, pie, right? If they were taking money out and going, right, do you know what? We can make this, we can take this money out and we're going to build an animal shelter and all that. Like, because I'm soft like that, you know, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to continue doing it. Yeah, if you were doing good things, you know, whether it's for the community, whether it's for, you know, wider, you know, society, I don't know. I don't think I'm doing a very good job with this video. Basically, because we crashed out of Europe, I was thinking about the summer and then thought, you know, like that. And then just thought, what is their game? What's the end? Like, if they loved football, right, soccer, if they loved Liverpool Football Club, I would get it. You know, like if John Henry was there every week, and, you know, every home game or whatever, and he's like, come on, yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'd get it. I'd think, no, he loves it. He loves it. Say what you want about Abramovich and all that, right? Listen, seriously, right? I don't want to defend his connections to all that what might be going on in the world because I'm not educated enough. You know, I see things on the news, but you don't know what to believe. Anyway, irrelevant. But you used to see Abramovich up there, you know what I mean? He loved football, right? Whether he's an evil man or not, he loved football. I don't see that from our owners. So what is their game? What is their game? What is the end game? What is it? I mean, like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I'm angry with myself because I'm creating a discussion about it. I don't want you to just by default go, they're greedy, they're awful. I want you to think about the question before you answer. What are they doing it for? Like, if I had that wealth and I died today, my kids are set up for eternity. You know, they'd already be cushy, they'd already be, you know, well off, wouldn't they? So what's it all about? Succeeding, being the best? That's a fair point, that's a possibility. But I don't see them trying to be the best. I don't see that. And to be the best of something, if I want Liverpool Football Club to be the best and I'm the owner, it's also about my love for that club. That's why I want it to be the best. I don't want it to be the best financially. If I'm already minted, I couldn't give a shit whether the club's making more money than my neighbours. I just want to win more things. I just genuinely don't know what their game is. I don't get it. What is their intentions? That's all I want to know. Then I'm going to try and leave it alone for a little bit. Unless something comes up to, you know, with speculation concerning the ownership. Excuse me, I can feel it rumbling. There it goes. What is it? I don't get what it is. Don't get what it is. Why? Look at the amount of, you know, the return of the investment. I was looking at an article yesterday that was on KopTalk a few years ago. If you go to my editorial that I told you about earlier, I linked to it in that article where John Henry says, if we can get this franchise at this price, it would be a steal, right? I'm sure some of you have heard you say that before. But he admits it himself. He said, it'd be a steal if we get this, you know. And the documentation, that was in an email, right, that was probably never supposed to be public, obviously, amongst others, but came out, you know, during court matters and that. And that noise has thrown me off. I hope you can hear that noise, or you'll think I'm having a stroke. imagine making that much money. I'm just really confused. Honestly, I'm really confused. I don't know. I don't know if I'm naive. I don't know what it is. If they're not taking money out, what's the point? What's the point? Is it really going to go up in value more and more and more? Looking at things at the moment, it seems that people don't want to pay, the asking prices, for the club, and maybe even Manchester United. I just don't see what the motive is. I don't see it. I think that you guys will say more money, Dunk. It is just greed. I don't get it. Do you think if they sold Liverpool Football Club in its entirety, that as an exit in strategy, when they depart, do you think that they would give any of that money, a sizable chunk, to something in the city or something, to make it look like, wow, that was nice. They made all them billions of profit. Look how much they've done for it. Do you think they'd do that? Or is that me? Is that my personality coming out again? Because I'd be like that. You know what I mean? I'd be like, you've made me a lot of money and I owe it to you guys, and I'm going to, build something or fund something. I don't know. I'm just totally confused. There you go. So that's all I've got for you this morning. I'm about to go and get on that computer over there. Saturday night streaming will go ahead this Saturday. I was in two doubts as to, two minds as to whether to do it or not. So I hope you come along, 7:30 p.m. UK. I don't want to be too late. I do see my friends, the boys on a Friday, and we have a few sherbets, and I don't like drinking 2 nights in a row, and I've been thinking about maybe not seeing them this week, but then I think it's important to see your friends and stuff. So, I hope you come along. Okay, all right, guys, let me know. I swear down, I'm not looking for, vitriol, like hatred towards them. If that's how you feel, that's cool. It's very easy to just say, well, they're awful people. Okay, but I'm trying to get more detailed. Like, I need someone to put it in my head sensibly, like, Dunk, this is what I think it's about. Maybe it is just a simple answer. I'm sorry, Dunk, I'd really like to give you an alternative view, but it is greed and nothing more. But when do they benefit from that? Because if they don't sell the club now, they don't get all that wealth, right? Unless they're taking stuff out of the club each year or whatever. I genuinely was just laid in bed thinking about it after the game last night, looking ahead to the summer, thinking, why? What's the big deal? So they can get, some sort of link up with, a media company and maybe make more money in through, broadcasting or whatever, I don't know. But again, it's the same answer. Whatever they would hold on to it to do, to capitalise, it's just to make more money. You're stinking rich. Why do you need to make more money? If it's not love of that particular thing, when it's sport, you're supposed to love that club and your heart's supposed to be in it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And I'm not some, wet person that's like, share the wealth with everyone. I mean, that's a great thinking in life. I love that. If I could share wealth with everyone, everyone, not everyone, but most people, then I would do that. So it's not like I'm someone on here that's going, it's disgusting to be rich or anything, because if they've worked for it and they've gambled for it and they've put all their, blood, sweat and emotion into something all them years, then fair play to them, fair play. So it's not about criticising them for making money. If they sell the club and leave with billions, I won't begrudge that. I just go, thanks, you did your best, whether you like FSG or not. They haven't been the worst owners. I think they can't take us any further forward. Every single time any of them opens their mouth, I literally facepalm and my head just drops into my hands because I see no enthusiasm. I just see patronising stuff. And let's be honest, your average football fans are thick as two short planks and they're very gullible, because they get caught up in the emotion of it all, I do think, though, that, when, what I mean by that is someone can come out and say, from the club and say, well, we're very committed, we're very determined, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of fans will go, see, they've said it, they're very committed, Whereas I think a lot of us now are like, do you know what I mean? When a player signs a contract, I remember when Luis Suarez signed his deal with Liverpool, there were so many naive supporters like, that's that then, see, Fatty, you were wrong. And I said, well, I don't think that changes anything. I don't think it changes a thing. I think that, sometimes they sign contract extensions to protect the player or the club to protect itself. You might as well tear it up and wipe your ass on it. That's what I said at the time. DKB, all right? So I don't believe anything these people say. I don't rubbish everything they say, but I always look at why they're saying it, And I just find FSG and every single person connected with that organisation, when they surface to comment on things, I just find them so condescending and patronising. And I just think, for fuck's sake. So, I made a video about FSG, I'm so sorry, but it's a valid question after crashing out of the Champions League. I can't ignore topics because I don't want to talk about them. And I think it's fair to ask, what the fuck is their end game? What is the point of it all? I don't get it. Please educate me. Please give me your thoughts. And please, I know some of you absolutely despise them, and that's fine, all right? And I know some of you have got no problem with them. That's fine too. But just please, before you start caps locking, just sit there for a second and think what I'm saying to you. Do you know what I mean? Because I for the life of me, I can't work it out. Maybe it's just greed and that's it. I don't know. All right, guys, I'll speak to you in a bit. All right.